Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the panel today. And as we're waiting for the other two panelists, we have, as Andrew said, the amazing Rob Slim. So Rob, tell us about yourself, tell us about your journey. And as we hear from you, I'm sure we're going to learn a lot related to your passion about marketing. So go ahead.
Thank you for the introduction. Hi, everyone. I've been in the business, in the industry for around 15 years now. I would say 20, but I would look too old for it. Yeah, I'd say 15 years. I've been in the digital world from day one. I have worked across several regions. I started in the Middle East, in Europe, North Africa, and Middle East again, then in Australia, and now I'm based in Dubai. I've worked across also several industries, from fintech, travtech, audiotainment, and what have you. It's when you're the jack of all trades, it means that you don't know anything. This is saying, but actually I have a helicopter view on the business. And what's the benefit of technology and digital transformation specifically in this era, and how we can move forward, because everything is shifting now different ways, whether it's habits, whether it is predictions as well. I hope that I can add any value today for this conversation.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing from all of your experience and expertise. Thank you. And our second amazing panelist is Imtiaz Mohammad. Hello, Imtiaz. Thank you for joining us. Is your audio on?
I don't think Imtiaz is here yet.
Oh, yeah, Samar, I meant. Samar Awais. Hello, Samar.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to hearing from you too. So let's start by, if you want to share with us your background, your journey, and before we get to the panel questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So hi, I'm Summer. I'm an email strategist and copywriter for SaaS and e-commerce businesses. And over the course of my career, I've written for brands like Marriott, Intercontinental, Aetna, even internet famous brands like Copy Hackers, and B2B SaaS businesses like Berkemagic, and a bunch of e-commerce brands, from health supplements to beauty brands to even hot sauces. And I love email. It doesn't matter what industry it is, but as long as it's email, it's my jam.
Wow. Well, you're the right person to join today. So thank you. And now Imtiaz, I mixed your name up with Samar. So Imtiaz, tell us about you. I just got excited about everybody. Tell us about yourself and your career journey.
I'm a marketer. Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
We're about 16, 18 years in the background. And yeah, I mean, started off as plain old marketing and then moved into digital technology-driven marketing, less digital advertising-driven marketing and more into reporting analytics, and then moved on into automations and a bunch of other stuff. And that's where email tends to come in for me. As a key vertical. In Pakistan and the region in general, in Asia. But currently I run my own business in Pakistan, and we work with a lot of e-commerce brands here, and we're slowly touching upon some SEA market companies as well. So it's an interesting journey, yeah, at this point in time. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to be talking about email marketing and the effect, positive or negative. Should we do it? Should we not do it? So, Samar, I would like to start with you. What are your thoughts about email marketing?
Honestly, I wouldn't be in business if it wasn't for email marketing. So my answer is always going to be yes to everything email. It doesn't matter what kind of business you are. If you are talking to your customers, you need email marketing, whether that's SaaS, whether that's e-commerce, whether you're a course creator, whatever industry you're in, you need emails because that's owned media. Your Facebook page could go away. Your Facebook ads could stop working, everything, right? Google could penalize you for whatever, and then you're not getting website traffic. But if you have emails, if you are getting people who want to hear from you, then that's one medium that you can always contact your customers, your prospective audience, whoever you've attracted.
Wow. That sounds great. Thank you. So what about our other panelists? What are your thoughts about this?
I'll defer to Rob first, and then I'll share my thoughts later.
Look,
I disagree with everything he says.
I agree and disagree in the same time. And actually, I wanted also to, maybe this is a question that we can cover later on, is more, I wanted Samar's input, if she can shed some light on some numbers in terms of conversion rates, bounce back rates, etc., because again, I'm looking at this from a user perspective, and I'm not similar. Maybe there's a lot of people that don't work the same as I do. I don't open these emails, so this is a personal experience. But definitely, my organization, they use them on a regular basis. There's definitely conversion there, but I wanted also like more information from you, Samara, in terms of how would this work, and if there's any tips and tricks that can improve the conversion rate, can improve how we can maybe like the headline, how to write the headline. Maybe this is the way that you can improve conversion rate. So I would like to hear more from you, and definitely I would like to relate it to whether my experience and other people's experience here in the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so before we talk about conversion
wait.
Oh, yeah, we still have one more.
Right.
Wait. Yeah. So your business pitch to Rob can come later. Business who is out there, who's curious about email and is not 100% convinced.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Rob? Right? He's not 100% convinced. And so I think this is an amazing panel for us to convince Rob to do email. And I guess that tells you where I come from with my opinion with respect to email. But that comes with a caveat, okay? So it's like saying you don't just do email. I mean, you campaigns for a ton of brands. I don't open 80% of the emails I get. And there is a reason for that. It's when people who, if you're just going to mass email me, I'm not going to open it. If you don't have a tempting, catchy subject line, I'm not going to open it. If your email is the first thing I see when I wake up with sleepy eyes and I'm just looking at my phone and I just pull down my notification bar and I see your name in the email, chances are your email. So when you say, should you do email, shouldn't you do email? Yes, you should. But that also depends on the vertical you are in with respect to your business. It depends on how you do it. Like I said, it's often said, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And the how you're doing it is the entire experience. You go to an amazing restaurant. If they don't give you the experience, why would you pay that money? And that's the same thing with email. It has to be done right. It has to be done challenges or irritate him or her, and then you start converting customers. You do not convert customers just by sending them emails. So there's a whole science to it. There's a whole process to it. It's a bunch of technical stuff from authentication to content-related stuff, which Samar does, and then there's the offering, which is essentially where the marketing aspect come from. So all these three combined create a great email experience. And yes, in one word, should you do it? Shouldn't you do it? Yes, you should. Customers and their attributes. Identify what you're going to communicate to your customers. If I'm Kareem or Uber, 90% of the chances I'm getting emails which are my receipts from rides, right? There's barely anything new that Kareem or Uber will communicate to me aside from maybe a charity drive or a new kind of vehicle or a new discount. But yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're out there to communicate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah. So what you're trying to say is that it needs to be part of the strategy. It's not the one thing, but it's one of multiple things we need to do to reach our market, our customers, and continue to build trust with them. So that's what you're trying to say. Thank you. Okay.
Right.
So
it's kind of like a whole ecosystem. Because of course, I agree with the Imtiaz, it's not just email, it's a bunch of things. But again, email is owned media. Email, when you have those emails, you have like this surefire way of getting them in touch with your contacts, clients, customers, leads, whatever you want to call them, no matter what, right? And so let's say everything else fails. You have a way to rebuild. And when Imtiaz says that it's just one part of the puzzle, I agree, but it is sometimes the most crucial part of the puzzle. Yes, SMS is important. Yes, digital marketing in other forms is important. Facebook ads also work amazingly. But again, everything needs to be filtered. And then I think of email as creating these customer experiences, right? So post-purchase emails are some of the most open emails. They often have over 60% open rates. And so why will you not create, if you know something is being opened, why will you not create a wonderful post-purchase experience that will wow your customers, build brand loyalty, and then move from there? It's from becoming friends from being strangers, essentially.
Yeah. Wow. And continue to promote new things for them as part of their post-purchase email. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to Rob's question. So you told us about the 60% open rate, but earlier he was asking about what is the conversion rate and some other interesting questions. So Samar, back to you. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. Rob, before we even talk about conversion rates, we need to figure out what you're converting for. Right? So what is that one big conversion that you're going for? Right? So for e-commerce brands, that's an email sale. For SaaS businesses, that's whatever action we want them to take, which is usually, let's say if they're on a free trial, we want them to, become paying customers. For your company, which owns a bunch of radio shows, I have a feeling it'll depend on every campaign. Right? There's no one singular conversion that we can track across the board for you. So let's say you have a show with falling listenership, right? And you've been collecting emails, and you know that there's a segment in your email list that has indicated that they're very interested in that show, or at least the kind of topics that are covered in that show. You can easily send emails to that segment saying, hey, here's this show, here's what we talk about, these are some of the guests that we've had, and these are the guests that are coming on, or stuff like that. And just send out an email week if it's a daily show, giving them a highlight of everything that they that you're going to cover over the week. Or if it's a weekly show, then just the day before or on the day off of the show. And if these people are downloading your app and listening on their phones, then it's as simple as clicking through and listening to that show, and boom, your listenership is up.
Sounds good. If I can ask the question in a different way, because you mentioned in the beginning that it is not only email that would work. And I would say definitely whether email or social advertising or SMS, they all come at a cost. If you have $10, how would you split it across these three? Email versus social versus SMS. And tell me, how would you split the $10?
I'd ignore the social completely. If you have an email list, I would ignore the social and divide it between SMS and email.
So you will put your $10 on sorry, you
and
put
by social you mean ads, right?
Ads, definitely ads.
Yeah, I would ignore ads completely. They're a hit and a miss in my experience. There's a lot of testing involved in that. email and SMS is low-hanging fruit that you can take advantage of.
Wow.
I have a comment here.
Yeah, I'm curious about what
$10.
you think.
Okay, so $10. I'd ask Rob what he's out for. Is he acquiring new customers, or is he gaining? Is he reaching out to existing ones? Can you guys hear me clearly now? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so if he's out to acquire new customers, yes, definitely social. If he's out to hit out and hit back to existing customers, you take a two-pronged approach. Is dirt cheap.
So Imtiaz, you're cutting off again. So can you repeat the last sentence, because you
Okay.
said two things.
So one thing is email is dirt cheap. Just to give you an idea, Amazon SES, one of the largest providers out there, costs around, one of my clients, we do about 250 to 300,000 emails a month, and our bill is close to $20 or $30. Expensive. Depends on your email list size. It depends on the volumes you send. Then you have your social. It depends on the region you're operating in. But what I would do is, for very dormant users, I would go with, and if they're not opening email, I would switch some of the money to social to reach out to them again, because I know who they are by email addresses. And then for the rest, I'd try working with email. So the ones that activate on email, who are opening emails, then I'd reach out to them via social channels. So I'd split that.
So you would split it equally, like 1/3 each?
Not really. It would depend. So, but I guess email would, if I would go with Amazon SES, so 20% email, 80% the other channels. Amazon, I don't have any idea about Rob's email list size, but I'm thinking 50,000, right? So 50,000 on Amazon SES would probably give me, in a week's time, I'd say, it depends on the business size, depends on the volumes, a lot of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it also depends on the CPCs that I have on Facebook and Instagram in the MEA region. Pakistan is cheaper at about 3 cents per average CPC. MEA is more expensive. So that's a difference. And that's a difference why people choose different channels accordingly.
Yeah. What about you, Rob?
In a perfect world, we'd have an unlimited budget.
Yeah.
Look,
How would you split the $10, Rob?
If I may comment on this one, also the product that you're promoting, selling, communicating about makes a big difference. If your product is good enough, I would say once you have the audience or you have the users there, you don't need to target them. Hence, you exclude email. But to acquire a new audience, and this is where you go on social ads, and literally, this is something we were discussing, maybe just discussing with the team, maybe half an hour before the call, is excluding your current audience. So we target, so you create a new audience, it's everyone, exclude my current audience. And this is where efficiency comes. So it depends also on the product. For us, I split $8 on social, and I'll put $2 on email.
Oh, wow.
So we're ignoring SMS altogether?
Look, this is not something we use. There's a lot of legalities there, and we don't use SMSs because this is collected through us, and we don't use it for any commercial reasons. So this is where it is a little bit tricky to use SMS.
Got it.
Wow, I'm surprised that you said $2 for email. I thought you would put even less just by talking with you last time as we were discussing this. So I'm like, wow, there has been an improvement. So
it was less it was less 5 minutes ago.
Before we chatted last time, so when we spoke last week, if how much would you put? Would it still be $2?
Definitely less. And no offense, Summer. Actually, look.
No, none taken.
It is your credit, to be
because
honest.
your $2 will still keep me in business.
Yeah.
And like really
I believe we should ask this question by the end of the session, because maybe the more you talk about it, because honestly, I'm enlightened and I would like to hear more from the pro in this field. I don't
want to talk about
maybe
return on investment. So what's the Imtiaz, when you say that social, yes, agree, for acquisition, what if, like, what's the return on investment for that? So I know that return on investment for email is incredible, but what about social? That's because it's not my area of expertise. I don't deal with it. I have no idea. So I know that even SMS has a lot of ROI, but what about social?
So social is interesting. It depends on the vertical you're operating in. And so there's two measurements here. One is if you count Facebook's own reporting, which Facebook reports assisted conversions, and GA reports last click conversions by default. And those two are distinctly different. By last click conversion standards, social yields approximately social with the track assisted conversions, they can claim up to 8x as well. But that's their business, so I don't blame them. But also that depends from country to country, depends from product to product. At this point in time, most of my customers are in the fashion business, and this is the yields we look at for most businesses.
Yeah, I concur with you about Facebook marketing and other kinds of advertising being cheaper in Pakistan, because I know that even smaller businesses that are operating out of their homes even are doing really well with Instagram advertising.
So
and like
Instagram is actually even cheaper. You don't even have to advertise. If you have a decent feed, and what you can do is just have great products, have a link in your bio, and just people clicking that link in your bio will give you crazy amounts of revenue. We've seen that, and the numbers insane. The only difference is you don't create ad sets, so you can't attribute that to a certain ad set. It's just less trackable, and it's a hit and miss. It could be. So depending upon what you've posted, what you haven't posted during any given week, stuff like that.
So, Imtiaz, you've been cutting off a little again. So we heard what you said, but again, we had to put the pieces together. I want to go back to one of the questions that Rob talked about, which is like, what do you put in the subject line to make it interesting for people to want to open it? I know the products that I open their emails, they tend to be ones that I trust. I am very interested in, and I know there's always some kind of a promotional offer somewhere in the email for me to go and buy some more. But what would you put in the subject line to make it so interesting for people to invest in a click, so they would be okay to click and see what's in there?
Yeah, I'll take this. All right. So when it comes to subject lines, all you have to answer, like, your subscriber, customer, whoever you're emailing is asking one question: what's in it for me? Why should I care? Why should I open that email? And your job as a marketer is to make sure that whatever you're sending them is relevant to them, right? So again, I'm going to use an example that I've already used, which is post-purchase emails, order confirmation emails. We know what's in it for them. They want to make sure that their order has gone through. They're looking for that tracking link. And so even if it's a normal marketing email, the subject line should be focused on the customer and not on your brand or you. It should not be like us. It should be you, the customer, the reader, the subscriber, whoever you're emailing. And then it needs to, there's a simple rule that I follow when it comes to subject lines. It is that if this person I'm emailing does not open that email, do they know just by reading the subject line what that email is about? And if they do, with no context other than that, then I've done my job. The message has gotten across even if they don't open, right? And so after subject lines, we move to preview text, which is, if somebody is using Gmail, the preview text will be visible. I don't know about other email, like Outlook or anything. I don't know about that, whether they display preview looks or not. But preview text is also incredibly important. It should not be the same as the subject line. It should build off on the subject line, right? It should give context. So if your subject line is saying, hey, we've got like a promotion going on, the preview text should have more details about that promotion.
So can you give us an example? So it sounds like you work with huge brands with different industries.
Yeah.
Give us one recent example.
All right.
Like,
so let's take Black Friday, Cyber Monday. All right. Your inbox is flooded with Black Friday, Cyber Monday emails, and like brands are trying different things to stand out. But the ones that do really well, and I'm talking about from the perspective of going through this data that brands release, agencies release after every Black Friday, Cyber Monday, are the ones that are very, very clear in their offer, like that are talking about what their email is about. If they're saying, hey, 50% upfront until Monday, and then the preview text will have the code. So even if you don't open it and you go to their website, you'll know what to do. So not everybody sometimes clicks through emails, even though like if you give them enough information, if they care about it, they will open it and click through.
So you're like putting discount in the subject line. So you're saying 10% until Monday or Tuesday. So
so like our Black Friday offer is going on. I mean, obviously it'll be a little more interesting than that, because like imagine getting all subject lines like that. But if they care about Black Friday, if they're in the mood to avail that discount, they will definitely open up if they know the details, especially the deadline of the promotion before opening.
I think one more key point, I think, was an article you wrote about alt text and images, and that's a very, very overlooked component of email.
Yeah, that was mine yesterday.
Yeah. So alt text in email, not only alt text in email. Yeah,
he opened my email. Yeah, and that email subject line was my most underrated.
So relevant.
Yeah, and he opened that email because my subject line was my most underrated email tip, and something along those lines, right? And you opened it because you're interested in email. Like I know my subscribers are interested in email.
But that's because I'm in the same business partially, right? Which means I have the same, as to a significant degree, a certain amount of same education I have to give to my customers. And this is what we talk to our customers about day in, day out. There's alt text, there's preview text, there's rich snippets, there's I don't remember what it's called, the whole Gmail icon that is represented by the brand name. And all these things matter, and that's where it all comes into. So it's never just the subject line; it's a lot of these components.
So everything builds on the next component, right? So you start with the subject. No, you start from the from name. By the way, sorry, you start from the from name.
Correct.
It's John from Bombus, or Summer from Emails Done Right, and then you move to the subject line, the preview text, the header, the subhead, the copy, the images, all text, and then the CTA, so on. But yeah, every component goes on the other.
You're putting images and emojis as part of the subject line. Is that what you're most underrated? Yeah.
Just on that, you mentioned like in Black Friday, and I went directly to my Gmail to have a look how many emails I received on Black Friday. They're all unopened. And you mentioned that you need to mention.
You're jaded, Rob. You don't like shopping.
Possibly. No, I love shopping, but and this is where I wanted to check with you, how would you stand out? Because all of them are telling me 30% off before Friday, sales ending Friday, 20% for you. So they are using this, but how would one of them, and I wish I can share my screenshot. How would one of them stand out? Because for me, they all look the same, and they are all respected e-commerce.
So here's something I tell my clients. I stopped taking Black Friday clients after July, right? So there's a phrase in the e-commerce world called Christmas in July. And that's when I tell brands that they need to start prepping for Black Friday, right? After that, because a lot of times brands have not spent the time in sending regular emails or building that relationship with their subscribers. And so if you're just going to show up out of the blue, trying to take advantage of Black Friday, your subscribers will not open from you. They will not buy from you. So if you're one of those brands that's never that hasn't built that relationship, then at the very least, start from July to, start sending them regular emails at least once a week to build that trust, to build that connection with them. And then leading up to Black Friday, build up that hype. Don't just show up on Black Friday, say, hey, surprise sale. No, tease it, tell them what you're planning, all that thing, right? And it's why I literally I have so many brands knocking in October saying we need a Black Friday sequence and a Cyber Monday sequence right now. And I'm like, I am sorry, I cannot help you. Because at that point, every single email marketing person and agency is already buckling under the pressure of getting things done in time. And it's just too late at that point. You might as well, sure, send it, you'll make some money, but forget about doing really well.
Okay. I have one more question. Sorry, I don't mean to hijack the conversation, but it is an interesting one personally, and I'm really keen to understand. Does it make a difference if the time of the day that you're sending the email? Does it show any trend? People
It depends. It depends. And it depends on your own data. So you have to study your own data, your own email metrics to figure out what's the best time to send emails.
So there's no trend it should be done on lunch break or it should be done the first thing in the morning. There's nothing that can tell you this is a general rule, right?
No general rules. I don't believe in general rules, Rob, simply because it's so easy to debunk them, right? Some brand will come and say, oh, hey, but that doesn't work for us. And so you're and then I'll speak from experience of my own list. I have a newsletter called Emails Done Right. I have it's a small list, 700 plus people on it.
Subscriber.
And through testing and curiosity, simply because I didn't even need to test it, but every time I send out an email at 11 a.m. EST or New York time, I get over almost 45 to 50% open rate. And anytime I post, send out an email after 1 p.m., if I hit mid-30s, I'd be I'd be lucky. So for my industry, those 2 hours between 11 to 1 are the golden hours.
So if I may just add a couple of points to Summer's points here, and Rob, to answer your questions, maybe add a bit more to that. When Summer says we don't take Christmas in July, so you plan for July, we plan for Black Friday in July onwards, and think of it from a marketing perspective, think of this as your biggest annual sale. Think of this as something that you are going to spend a ton of money on for your social, for your merchandising, for a lot of your external visibility. You're probably signing up your influencers by that time as well, right? So why is email a secondary component? Why is that strategy not being considered at that point in time? That is to consider that. So the email is nothing special. You must think of email as any other channel in our traditional marketing list of channels and mediums that we work in. Why are we treating email differently? That is one component. The second component, time of day, it depends from, like Samar said, time of the day, it depends. So if I wake up in the morning and if I have 20 unread emails, all of them are going to say unread. I'm just going to swipe right on my notifications and goodbye. So as far as the rest are concerned, I would just not, but during the day, if I get an email, I would open it, I would read it. So it really depends on who your customer is, what their brands are, what their offerings are, and what you're trying to communicate to the users.
Well,
so
there's one thing just...
Rob, we have a comment from one of our viewers, and I'm so glad, and I want to encourage all of our other viewers to add their comments or questions. So this comment says, to answer, it's a process, Rob. like you get their interest in what they want to buy before entering Black Friday. And then the subject line should on the favorite items that you know he will surely buy. Plus, couple it with send time optimization, which I feature to know what is the usual time of that individual to open that email. I feel like it's cutting off, but that's a comment. At least I got it. Here you go.
Okay, so I want to talk about email marketing in the MENAP region, to be honest, because I work with US brands. I know that email marketing is huge in that industry, but I live in Pakistan and I buy from e-commerce brands here, and there is just so much friction and so little email marketing. And so I want to, because you work with Pakistani e-commerce brands, Imtiaz, I want to hear why are e-commerce brands so reluctant to adopt email marketing in Pakistan?
It's a slow process. It's a gradual process. The fact that they've started marketing automation, the fact that they're fixing their analytics is a good starting point for us. There's a lot of room for improvement, and which is where, I mean, I think we have the opportunity to do a lot more. It's not all bad. We are in a position to create amazing experiences, right? Great case studies, and then move from there.
Sounds good. One thing I will say is that every brand that I abandon a cart with in like a Pakistani brand, they always send me abandoned cart email. So that's always interesting that at least you're not leaving money on the table that way, even if you don't send me any other emails.
But aren't those the standard built into Shopify ones?
Yes, absolutely. But at least that's better than nothing.
No, you're right. You're right.
Oh, another question, and this gets my goat every single time, is why is there not, why can't we pay via credit card? Why does it always have to be COD, cash on delivery?
I think that's a question you can ask me over a lunch somewhere. But this is let's stick to email marketing here.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good
for us.
Okay. So for the three of you, I don't know about you if you see me there, but everything.
I see you. No one else.
Yeah, I see you, Dima.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Like, I don't know what happened here. Hello, everyone. At least we can hear the panelists. And okay.
Got it. We're back, but Dima's gone.
That's okay. I guess you can still hear me. And I want to encourage our viewers. Now we're back. I want to encourage our viewers to add their comments or questions to our panelists. And as we are getting towards the end of our panel, I want to hear from you, whether it is related to email marketing or anything else focused on your business of how you manage marketing. What are 2 or 3 tips you want to leave our viewers with? So we'll start with you, with Imtiaz. Tell us 2 or 3 tips you want people to leave, and remember you sharing these tips with them.
I was hoping I could copy these off Rob and Summer, but you just
well, I knew if I said Rob, you would be like, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was hoping to copy off both of them, to be honest. But since you put me on the spot here, so 2 things which are supremely important, right? One is be clear with your communication, know what you want to communicate, and know what you want to communicate has to stem from what your expected action is. And that knowing that expected action, and like Samar put it a while ago, what is that conversion? What conversion are you looking for? The business should know what they're looking for. If you're the only word you're going to come up to me and say, I want to increase sales, that's very vague. Be a bit more detailed. A. B, understand your customer, understand their behavior, know your GA. Google Analytics is an amazing tool. It's a free tool, but at least use it to 50-60% of its capacity. But understand that. It tells you great stuff about how customers behave on your website, and what they are and what they aren't interested in. And that alone can tell you a lot about what sort of content you should be working on with respect to even your emails. The third thing is don't be shy to don't be afraid of making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. The worst thing you're going to do when you make a mistake is have a poor open rate to an email or have a social media campaign perform poorly. But your recovery time from that is going to be what, a week or two? It doesn't matter. And if you're really scared, then have a segment on the side that is a subset of your existing market base, and then try over there. But try stuff. If you're not going to try, you will never know how far you can go. And the only way to learn new things is by doing them, not reading about them. Reading them helps, but doing them is the key thing.
That's powerful. Thank you. So it's all about being courageous and trying new things. Thank you. And being clear.
Yeah, of course. Know what you want to do and then try it. I mean, if you don't know what you want to do, and it's like walking into a city without knowing where you want to go and not even having a map on your hand. So have one thing at least, right? It's okay to be in a new city, but it's good to also know where you want to go.
Right. That's great. Thank you. Okay, Rob.
Well, my 3 tips would be, first of all, please be straight to the point. Don't overload with text and images and 600 things. I want to look at honestly one thing, one key message, and that's it. So there's a lot of emails, and I'm pretty sure, Samar, it's not your fault, it's your client's fault that they say, oh, put this and this and this and this. I want to sell 10 products and send one email with 60 images. No, please give me
None
one.
of my clients though, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, give me one thing. This is number 1. Number 2, please, like, I believe if it is from a person, I would open the email. I don't like the info ad. I don't like the sales ad. This is something also might make a big difference. And last but not the least is, please don't think the person that reading the email is always focused. So don't try to be a salesman there. Try to tell them a story rather than selling them a product. Like, yes, I agree with you. Like, maybe Black Friday is not the right example, but there's plenty of examples when you're trying to convince, or let's say generically conversion, to convert potential clients to clients. Don't sell them. Tell them something beneficial. So these are the 3 ones. If I want to summarize, just be straight to the point. One image, one line about what this would be about. Be like, it should be from a person. This is personal preference, but I'm pretty sure most of us will prefer that to see a name rather than sales ad or info ad. And the last would be, don't sell me, tell me. Don't be a salesman on the email. It will repel.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Samar.
Oh, I only have one thing that I want to say, and that's focus on your customer experience, right? So it doesn't start with email, even though I'm an email person. When I work with clients, I always tell them, let's take it from the top. What happens when somebody lands on your website, right? When are they shown that newsletter sign-up box? And when they do, what promise are you making on that pop-up or like that form? And then, or is that promise being fulfilled in the email that you're going to send them, in the welcome email, right? So it's a journey. Map out that journey, put your customers first, and then just every time you're thinking about sending your list an email, ask yourself 2 questions. What happens if this person does what we want them to do, which is maybe buy, click through, whatever? And what happens if they don't do what we want them to do? Have a plan for both eventualities and take it from there.
Wow, I like that. I like that. These 2 questions. That's great. So far, we're not having questions from the audience. I guess we're very, very clear. So they're not, we're not having additional questions. I want to see if there's anything else you would like to add. Oh, so it looks like someone is saying that questions are coming through. Good. So we'll give them a minute. I have not seen any. So anyone who entered the question already, please re-enter it. So this way we'll be able to see it. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to add? Any mistakes that totally bother you when companies are sending marketing?
We have a question for Rob, though.
Yeah. So what's your favorite brand?
Well, this is situational. Now I have a newborn baby, so anything that has to do anything with newborn, I will go for this. But like in 6 months' time, it will be something else. So I will have maybe disposable income, and I will go for other things. So it depends on the situation, to be honest. It doesn't have to be specific then. But thanks for the question, but it depends.
So your
Congratulations.
favorite brands, you would actually open the emails from your favorite brands?
Look, if I receive now something that can help keep the baby sleeping at night, I will definitely open the email.
That is good. Okay, so another question. What's the best email marketer? Yeah, go ahead.
Best
Summer.
email marketer in Pakistan.
Summer.
Yeah, hands down, it's Summer.
I think they meant the email marketing software, by the way. Maybe.
No, I don't think they meant email marketing software. I think they meant brands in Pakistan that send emails.
Okay.
So at one point in time, I don't know if you. So this is Restream, right? So I don't know who's sending the questions, but one point in time, Patari, which was a basic music platform, much like Spotify, at one point in time, Patari had amazing emails.
I remember.
I'm talking about 5 odd years ago. I mean, the emails were hilarious. You'd crack up reading them. And they'd make all sorts of, it wasn't meant to be jokes. It was meant to be just content and commentary. And it would have a flash of some music and talking about some celebrities and just a little story. And quite often I would wonder, how do they get away with this? Sometimes it just sounds like, pure, sometimes they would border on being obnoxious. If I were that celebrity, but as a reader, it was entertaining. And I would wonder how they would get away with this. It's amazing, but they had amazing emails. I haven't quite seen anyone do emails like that in Pakistan. And I think those people are worth speaking to. I know one of the people who used to work there, and I'm pretty sure I could reach out to them. But this question just reminded me, this is a very interesting, this is someone I need to speak to, and this is good to be in another conversation. Wow. But yeah, I mean, Patari had amazing emails back in the day. I don't know about right now.
Wow, now I'm curious to see these emails. So let's go around for our panelists. So for the audience that want to reach to you, tell us how they can reach you. What is your website? Samaj, what is information about your newsletter? How can they sign up? Your podcast? So tell us more.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a question in here that says, where do we find your podcast and blog, Summer? I have neither. What I do have is a newsletter. You can go to emailsdoneright.com, sign up. I pick an email fight every Wednesday. And it's just me griping about something or the other that I saw, on the internet or while I was, shopping. And had an experience with a brand. And then I highlight what went wrong, what went right, and how it could be improved, or just really gush over what was, done right. Mm-hmm. So those are like emails, like that's the one place. You can reply to any email and get directly to me, but I don't publish blogs, and I speak on other people's podcasts, but I don't have any of mine. summerwest.com is my website, work website, and I hang out all day, every day on Twitter. So it's twitter.com/summerwest. Come find me there.
Not Clubhouse?
Wow.
Oh, absolutely not. Don't even get me started on Clubhouse.
Why not? Everyone is in love with Clubhouse. Why not?
Oh God, this is going to then turn into a panel about how Clubhouse is problematic for BIPOC people.
Let's keep it for another time.
Yeah.
I think that would be an amazing panel discussion about Clubhouse, because it's supposed to be like the best thing going on right now.
It's highly
So
problematic. But yeah.
I have 5 invites, and I don't use iOS, and I don't care to convert to iOS. So why should I
There's
join
that.
Clubhouse?
It's 2021. For God's sake, Android should be like as important as
At least be
iOS.
platform neutral. At least be
Exactly.
platform neutral.
Like, and be inclusive in your
They will,
platforms
they will,
at the very
they will.
least.
They will. They need time.
I've heard that before, Rob. But like, it's a very different conversation if we start talking about Clubhouse. I talk about it often on Twitter. I just want to hear my thoughts. It's just tweets, and you'll hear often enough.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what about you, Rob?
I'm honestly, on a personal level, I'm only active on LinkedIn. I don't use anything else than LinkedIn. I have work, other social media platforms for work. I'm active now recently on Clubhouse, but again, this is not something I want to talk about now, but like LinkedIn is the go-to for now.
And you're using Clubhouse for marketing too, or is it just for personal?
Now I'm running a research for myself and for the company I work for. This is what we're running. We're assessing the platform, so on what are the ways to monetize Clubhouse. This is coming soon.
Wow. And it's still in pilot state. Can you imagine like all the focus on it, and it's still pilot?
$2.5 billion, Summer.
None of that money is mine.
Wait till they come to you. Write us an email sequence.
Yeah, maybe they'll reach out to you so you can help them with their email marketing for Clubhouse. Not sure about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what about you, Imtiaz? How can people reach out to you?
So I have a website, OrangeFox.io. We're fixing that at the moment, so please do not go there and throw mud pies at me, because it's horrible right now. There's a bunch of fixes coming in, and I'm going to start writing a series of blog posts about marketing automation and a bunch of things which are related to technology in marketing. So I have my content plan ready, but while we're fixing the website, I'm going to start writing some articles on that. But I intend to, and that will of course translate also into my newsletter. Yeah, so that's there. And of course there's LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn, Imtiaz and Mohammad, and that's where you find me. But website, I guess I'll announce on LinkedIn as well. I mean, should be taking me a couple more weeks to have it up and running. But essentially the idea is to have a lot of content out there, so for people to take advantage of. I mean, there's knowledge, there's stuff you can do on your own, and you don't need to speak to someone. Of course, get started. I mean, when you need expertise, you can speak to someone, but get started. That's the more important part.
Good, thank you. So, Samar, I have another question for you. And again, I'm not sure if I'm cutting off, so I'll try to speak it so you'll be able to hear it. What about the people that say email marketing is just gonna eventually, not email marketing, but email as a whole, we're not going to be using it in the future? So what thought about that, and how would you shift your business model?
So that's email is dead comes up almost every year, and they've been trying to kill it off since maybe 2000, 2001, and it hasn't died yet. I'm not worried.
That's it.
Absolutely. That's all I'm going to say on that topic.
Okay. Good. So I want to see if you have any final thoughts as we conclude this panel. It was a lot of wonderful information. I know I learned a lot, and from all the discussion today and as we were preparing for this panel. So I want to give you a final opportunity if there's like anything else you would like to share that we didn't touch.
I'm thinking.
Join me.
Is it my internet?
No,
I have a room in half an hour.
I'm not joining Clubhouse. I don't use iOS, right? So I don't mind winning an iOS device from ARN sometime when I'm in Dubai next time. I'm sure you run nice contests, so I don't mind winning that and then joining
Yeah,
Clubhouse.
rig the system, Rob.
Yeah. But then I don't see a purpose of Clubhouse at this point in time. So I spoke to a friend this morning, and she was like, "This is Twitter in audio." I'm like, okay. I'm very disillusioned by Twitter as well lately. So I don't know. I'm uncertain about a lot of things right now, especially with respect to social media. So
it's shifting. Definitely, Imtiaz. Things are shifting. Behaviors are shifting. Technology is shifting.
Exactly.
Pandemic would make a big impact on everything we do, we eat, the way we live. So definitely, I totally agree with you.
And COVID has done so much more with respect to this impact. And whether it's Clubhouse or any other platform, and also with respect to email, I think it's changing. A few years ago, we didn't have rich HTML emails, and now we have responsive emails, and then now we also have dynamic emails which have content within email which you can take actions on. So I think that is yet to be taken advantage of by most brands. And of course, that functionality is still Gmail centric at this point in time. But I mean, there's so much more capability where email may not remain email. It just might be called email because of the channel it exists in. But there's so much more flexibility, and all of these mediums are going to evolve continuously. Look at WhatsApp. It was something else, now it's something else. And this is going to happen across the board. We must be just keeping our eyes open and be flexible ourselves. Every medium is going to evolve. Nothing's going to die.
Agility is key to success.
One comment about the privacy. So Clubhouse, they still need to figure out the privacy and the GDPR issues. Yeah. Obviously, we need a panel discussion about this. So,
I'm biting my tongue here, but yeah, we do.
Don't bite your tongue. Let it out. What do you want to share?
Matthew, we also need to look into the history of their founders. Highly problematic right there. And you think they'd learn from the fiasco that happened back when they were working at Pinterest, one of them. But the fact that they didn't, and they went on to create a platform like this with almost zero moderation, just shows that, it's not something they care about.
So this is in parallel to Parler, which got banned by iOS.
Yeah, it's Parler 2.0.
It's Parler in audio.
Oh, wow. That I didn't know.
So you've got to, so here's the thing. A lot of people don't see the vitriol that's being spewed out there simply because they don't look like I look, right? I go on a place like Clubhouse and I'm a target for racism, right? And you go
but
like
one of the photo or video.
Yeah, I know it's audio. Yeah, but you get to hear the worst. There are rooms out there that start out as women empowerment rooms, and then they get taken over, and the conversation shifts to how women should not be speaking up at all.
Similar to Instagram, similar to Facebook, similar to Twitter.
Yeah, and then there was this one room. There was this one room that was created as a way to, like, people were talking about, it was a Nigerian room, and they were talking about hunting down and killing the LGBTQ plus community in Nigeria, and there was no moderation. Wow. So I am sorry, but any network that allows that kind of down is just not worried about it. And that's no place for me. I mean, these are just some of the examples, right? And if we don't care about other communities, we will not care about ours. Yeah, I'm fired up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It was such a pleasure moderating this panel discussion. I loved everything I've learned from our wonderful three panelists, and I hope our audience as well, they gained a lot of great tips. So email never dies, and ensure that you have an email strategy, because it needs to be part of your overall marketing strategy to continue to build relationship and trust as you're reaching to your existing customers. So thank you to our panelists. Thank you for organizing this event, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. That was panel was pure fire. Somewhere I loved that. I loved Rob. being so conscious. That's what makes panels
Yeah,
interesting.
absolutely.
So I don't know if I've convinced you to at least rethink email into your strategy.
It's $2.
Yeah.
$2,
So
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
my email marketer, to be honest with your 3 tips. So yeah, some email marketers definitely need to be listening to consumers like yourself, because those 3 tips were bang on, and I don't think any of the professionals would disagree with those. I think Summer's right with you on the single call to action on your each of the emails that you send, and not overloading them. Dima, you've been shy, and I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Imtiaz, because you brought insight that we couldn't possibly have had in terms of someone that has real hands-on experience in the region. So that's absolutely invaluable, invaluable insight that you were able to bring to.
Thank you. I'm happy to contribute.
And hopefully we can rope you into future events and stuff as well, because
Why not?
Very
Thank you.
Perspective and experience. Dima, you've been very shy. This is your job. This is what you do. This is your work. And if you have got the time, I'd really love it if you could spend. I mean, I'm not expecting you to tell the whole story of the broken vase. If you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and why people should be going to dimaghawi.com and finding out about you, and you've done this as a huge personal favor to me. Thank you, shukran. I leveraged everything I could to try and pull you in, and I'm so glad I did. And we really, really want to see you at future events. We want to have this fresh perspective. It's all industry people most of the time, and we want to bring somebody else to bear. So we'd really love to see you. I realise that my audio has been turned right down. So we'd really love to hear more from you, Dima, at this point, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I am. And I guess we need the whole session if you want the breaking vases story.
One day.
I'm originally Middle Eastern. I was raised in Jordan by Palestinian parents, and now I live in the US. My story is mainly based on an experience I had with my grandmother when I was a little girl. And it has nothing to do with marketing, but I love marketers as they're helping me promote the story. I was playing with her in her kitchen in Amman, Jordan, and we were arranging flowers. She took a glass vase and she said, "Do you see this perfect glass vase? A girl is just like it. If it gets cracked for any reason, you can never fix it or glue it back. It will always be seen as cracked. And who would want a cracked vase? That's the one we throw in the trash." So what she meant is, as a Middle Eastern woman, I have to be perfect. I have to follow, obey, not make any mistakes, and live the life that's expected of me. So my life's journey initially started by following all of this and being the perfect glass vase and doing what my family expected. And I have a feeling I'm cutting off a lot with the internet connection. But the whole story is the transformation of shattering that vase and going through self-discovery, challenging the norm and the stories that I was told about my identity as a little girl, and starting my own path and going through a leadership transformation journey. And now empowering people around the world with my speeches and my coaching and my various programs. So it's a journey of self-discovery and transformation, and continuing to inspire everybody, regardless what industry they're in, to reflect about who they are and to continue to challenge the old horrible stories that we were told in order to create a better future for us and for the next generation.
And the full sessions I've watched them, they're incredibly moving, an incredible learning experience, and I know that you can take your sessions to hugely empowering or deeply thought-provoking, and are able to really add a lot of live events. So I hope to see more of you in the marketing community in general. encourage people to check out when you're doing your next TED Talk or whatever it might be, where you're sharing the full story of the broken vase, because it is a great story. And thank you everyone again. Thank you, Summer. I know I've been harassing you for months to try and come on to a show.
No worries, always a pleasure.
And suddenly you agreed to do everything. So one of my favorite people in email right now. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. It's honestly from the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough. And it really was one of the most engaging panels that I've seen in a long time. So we're going to cut, re-edit, and make this available to people, because I know that there was a lot of great content in there. Thank you so much, and thank you for bearing with us with the technical problems at the beginning.
All right.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks
Bye.
for watching.
Bye.
Bye.